Hey everybody, hope you are well. I feel like I pick the beautiful, sunshiny, gorgeous autumn days to do this, and then the clouds descend again. But it is yet another fantastic day. I went for a hike this morning with my dog and my husband, and gazed out over Lion's Head, which is one of our favorite hikes in Salisbury, and as the leaves really peak right about now. And I am wearing purple today because it is Purple Thursday, which is a visible nod to the fact that it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Both of the domestic violence agencies that serve the 64th District, which is to say Project SAGE, which covers most of the district, and Susan B. Anthony Project in Torrington, which covers Norfolk, have both had vigils and various events to draw attention to domestic violence and those who are affected by it. So many of us are donning purple today to draw attention to that and to acknowledge that, and also to make sure that people are aware, if you or someone in your family is experiencing or at risk of domestic violence, there are, really wonderful agencies that can help provide all kinds of resources and support if you need it. So I'll make sure I include links to both of those very fine organizations in the newsletter. And I also wanted to note, sort of a continuation from last week, as the international news continues to be very bleak, in the Middle East in particular. I have had, this time of year, there's a ton of social/work events, which things like candidate meet and greets for those running for municipal office. Again, thanks to those of you who are doing that. Political fundraisers, a hike sponsored by 2 local nonprofits, at Fire Department open house in Cornwall, all kinds of sort of, community meetings, of, people who are trying to come together sometimes for a particular purpose, but also at all of those meetings, I had versions of this conversation about what to do when things seem really bleak and you're trying to figure out how to support people around you who are most affected by those, brutal international events. And particularly, in a time where we are a social media driven, a lot of our activity, and this urge to post immediately and have an immediate reaction to everything, and how particularly in these, complicated contexts often doesn't really serve, peace, stability, and supporting the futures of those who live in those areas. And sometimes restraint is the, to provide resources, but also not to, so someone pointed out to me in a recent article, a comment from Bill Wilson, who's the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, that we must avoid quick-tempered criticism and furious, power-driven arguments, end quote, which Bill Wilson calls emotional booby traps baited with pride and vengefulness, which seemed kind of appropriate for some of this. And I wanted to highlight in particular at all those events how everyone that I was meeting with was sort of the antidote was building community, building connections to one another, and figuring out how to work together to just make people's lives better. And that feels good. And another event in that vein that I did yesterday, I volunteered to be part of a mock session in our chamber with the Connecticut Association of Student Councils. So high school students who picked various hypothetical bills to work on, and they sat in chamber and argued for and against and voted. And what a pleasure it was to work with those students who were, it was really not very partisan at all. It was about engaging in the issues and listening to each other and trying to figure out how to look at both sides of an issue and how to be respectful. And to be in chamber with a group of my colleagues, both staff and legislators, passing along to those young people some of the habits that we have in Connecticut in the legislature, which build connection between us and help dampen some of the vitriol that is in part of our public discourse sometimes. So that was a joyful experience as well. A few upcoming events that I will note in the newsletter, but I want to highlight. Tonight is the Litchfield County Farm Bureau dinner, which I will be going to. Looking forward to that. The Northwest Connecticut Chamber has their annual legislative reception at the Draper Conference Center at what was formerly Northwestern Connecticut Community College, now the Northwestern branch of the Connecticut State Community College. Sorry, too many acronyms, but it's still NCCC to me. But we have that's Friday morning at 7:30. Looking forward to that. There is a flu and COVID vaccine clinic at Houstonic Valley Regional High School on Friday. I will be getting pancakes at the Kent Firehouse on Sunday. And I have lots more candidate meet and greets too on Sunday afternoon, in fact, which I'm also looking forward to. So hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.